What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode. Oh yeah, guys, last episode we were messing around with getting these different ethereal fruits to grow on our soft bedrock farmland. Yeah, and we were able to make the redstone ones, and I tried making the gold ones. I was like, I don't know how to do this. Well, apparently the way you do it is you have to have pulverized gold, like gold dust. If we go to Voidcraft, and we look at the dust, there's these different void infused dust, right? So there is void infused gold dust, and you get that by making yourself a void infused macerator and then taking gold ore and crushing it. Well, there is another way to do that, actually. I made myself a forge lexicon. This thing allows you to convert from one ore dictionary item to another ore dictionary item. So if we go and we get ourselves, I don't know, how about some more gold like we were talking about, and we pulverize said gold, come over here into the pulverizer, we have thermal foundation gold. This stuff does not work as far as I remember. Let me eat one of these carrots so we have night vision. This does not work by right-clicking it on the block. Nope. But you can go into the Forge Lexicon here, and by default, I think it's off. When you right-click it, you come to here, and you can search for things and see the different entries for that specific thing. You do have to like do the empower key. I have mine set to, I think, Control V or something. Anyway, you can go into the controls and change your binding for that. But you can put the item into here, and then you can swap between any of the different types of ore dictionary dust gold for this particular item. So applied energistics or immersive engineering. The Voidcraft one is the very first one, so if you hit the left arrow once, you get to it. And then we have the Voidcraft void infused gold dust. So you click this button to convert. You can do a stack at a time. Doesn't cost anything to convert. And then you can just right click that onto the ground. So that changes that bedrock to have gold. And then as we saw before, you just plant the seed on there, and then it'll grow up all big and strong, infused with the gold. And you get between 0 and 3 of those when you harvest it. So I've done that for the redstone, for gold, for lapis, emerald, and diamond. Now, when I first started doing this, I was under the impression that I needed all of these to combine to make this potion. And this potion would allow us to go through the void without taking that voidic infusion damage, where we start losing our maximum health. That is not the case. Actually, all you need to do is just have these ethereal fruits. These other ones don't matter, at least for now. If I eat one of these, you can see right here I have night vision saturation. If I eat one of these, I have full saturation, and I can't eat this, by the way. So if I eat one of these, and we go in here, we now have voidic immunity. I just ate a second one because that bug is a thing. Yeah, so we have voidic immunity. So as long as this is active, we can be in the Voidcraft dimension and not worry about getting voidic infusion, which lowers our max health and puts that purple stuff around the screen. Yeah. So if you go into the void dimension and you want to be there for a while, you definitely want to take these, and right here in the lower right-hand corner, you can see this countdown, this timer right here, is our voidic infusion. It's not labeled, you can't see it, but that's what this one is. You can just verify that by looking right here, right? So as long as you keep your eye on that and you just nom one of these to make sure that timer is refreshed before that goes down, you should be fine. Now, I don't think this cures any of the voidic infusion you have. I think you do have to leave the dimension in order for that to be restored. I haven't done much testing on it, but so that's where we are with that. Now, the reason why this is important is because we've been trying to get to the voidic cloth, right? If we go to, was it this? Which tab was this? One of these down here. Yeah, we're trying to get to this void cloth. And you can see right here, the quest is complete. So what I ended up doing is I went to the void dimension, and I was using this food to get around so we weren't taking the void infusion damage. Let's go ahead and teleport there real quick. So I can hang out here as long as I want to, as long as I'm munching on these ethereal fruits here. Just keep that number refreshed. So pretty much what you have to do is go to this dimension, at least at this time. It might be changed in the future. I was kind of discussing with the pack devs about this, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, really, that you have to have this fruit. And in order to get that cloth, you have to go to these fortresses, and then you have to get lucky that the random chests that can spawn in these will have what you're looking for. Yeah, anyway, it might change in the future, it might not. But at this point in time, when I'm recording this, the only way that you can get the void infused cloth is by finding chests in these fortresses, which pretty much requires that you have creative flight, and it does require that you have these fruits. Otherwise, yeah, it's just the time that it takes to find these fortresses and go through here. You only get like 5 minutes before the Voidic Infusion kills you. Long story short, I found another fortress that had a chest in it that contained 4 of the void infused cloths, so we should be good to go. I just need to find my way back out of here. All these parrots. I did see in the book for Voidcraft the Voidic parrots or whatever. There's nothing really special about them. You can just tame them. It's pretty much all it said. Yeah, and they eat the void. Like, you tame them with the Voidic seeds, I guess, the ethereal fruit seed stuff. But anyway, so we're pretty much done with this dimension for now. We needed these 4 void infused cloth. We found that in one of the fortresses in a chest. There's 4 of them in there. We found out how to prevent the voidic damage using the ethereal fruit, and we didn't really waste our time by building this because we needed to grow a whole bunch of the voidic fruit. So that's kind of necessary anyway. Well, I think for now we're done with the Voidcraft dimension. We were kind of looking at how to get more hearts, and we wanted to get to what was the dimension for that? Into the AbyssalCraft dimension, so we can get ourselves the antimatter. So we like, there's a lot of stuff here. So in order to do that, where did we end up on this? We haven't touched anything. So antimatter bucket requires the Necronomicon. I don't remember, like, I haven't done this. We saw the Shoggoths last episode as well. I don't remember if we can easily get to the very first dimension without doing any of this stuff. So I guess we should probably open up the Necronomicon quest, which will allow us to see what's required. What's required for the antimatter stuff. And once we get here, we can get the antimatter bones, which should allow us to get more hearts. And the boss that we need to spawn in the void dimension won't be as threatening with more hearts. That's my line of thinking on it anyway. So let's get started, shall we? So Necronomicon does require some dull crystals. I guess we don't need that anymore. And heart. Let's go ahead and put this on the list so we remember what it is that we are trying to do. Okay. So we're going to go to the we're going to do the Necronomicon quest so we can try and unlock these extra hearts. We got a lot of stuff on our list here queued up for things that we need to remember. All right, so dull crystals. I think we should have those already made. We have 5. Is that exactly what we needed? That is exactly what we needed. That's lucky. All right, we'll put that away because we don't need it, and that away because we don't need it right now. Okay, so dull crystals, we need 2 iron, a rotten, 2 iron, and a rotten flesh. We got lots of rotten flesh in there, goodness. And then we're gonna need a book, which we should have an extra over here. We do, perfect. Okay, so Necronomicon time, go. I just made the advancement, AbyssalCraft. Necronomicon, all right, so let's claim the reward for that. Ooh. So I have collected these from, I think it was the loot chest. Corallium ore, we have found these Corallium gems, I think I found them in the Twilight, actually. We do have some of those. And then Abyssalite ore, I think we found in the Twilight as well. So I guess we'll just go ahead and let this do all the quest completes for us. AbyssalCraft. Yeah, so we have the Abyssalite ore, we have the Shadow Fragments, and then I've collected 47 Corallium gems. So we've gotten quite a lot of things complete just by unlocking the Necronomicon, which is awesome. Okay, I think it's done with all the fanfare, right? So let's claim all of these. Was there another, are there any other ones left? No, I don't think so. Okay, so we have all of that done. So antimatter bucket says we'll transform mobs into their abyssal counterparts, but it doesn't say how to get this, does it? Okay. So the Necronomicon is another thing that I'm going to have to read and figure out what it is that we have to do. I know we have to make the Staff of Rending in order to... I can't remember the exact item. You have to rend so many mobs with it, and then you get an item, and then use that item to infuse a thing so you can go to the next dimension. And there's like 3 or 4 dimensions for AbyssalCraft, if I remember right. Anyway, so let me go ahead. I'll look in the Necronomicon real quick, and then we will figure out what we need to do next. Alright guys, so I went through the book real quick, just trying to refresh my memory since it's been, you know, a few months since I last have touched this particular mod. So in the book, you start off with this index page. So really what you want to do is go to Forbidden Knowledge, and then you want to click on the dimension that you are currently working in. So we're in the Overworld. This is where we want to start. When we get to the next dimension, it'll show you that here, and you could click on that and it'll tell you more information. But the Overworld, this tells you the different materials that it has added to the world, which pretty much none of those apply to us since we're in a void world. Progression tells you that you need to get yourself a gateway key. So this is what our next step is. It kind of tells you about how to do this, but honestly, in this particular playthrough, it's going to be slightly different. Yeah, it gives you information about the different entities in here, the special materials. This is how you make corallium infused stone, which is important because you need this in order to make a, you smelt this stone and you need that stone in order to make like a pearl or whatever. Yeah, so that's the special materials. It tells you how to make the shadow gems. Yeah, this is pretty much what we need to do, this gateway key. So we need the corallium pearl, and this is made by smelting that stone, and that stone is made by combining some of the gems that we have collected. We do AbyssalCraft again. So that, and then we need some stone. Actually, I don't remember how much stone we need. Let's just take all of that. So essentially, we need 9 of those turned into one of these gem clusters. And that can freely convert between 9 and 1 like that, right? I think we need 2 of these, maybe. And I think you wrap that all in stone. Okay, so here's a corallium infused stone. Now, I don't know with this particular mod if you get 2 pearls or just 1, so let's smelt it. And we do get 2. Okay, so you only need 9 corallium gems if you do have the ore processing upgrade in the furnace overhaul mod. I was like, that's not the Endless Furnace mod, it's something else. Okay, well anyway, so we have that done. We have the 2 corallium pearls that we're gonna need to move forward. So let's put some of this stuff away. Cool. But we still also have to make this Oblivion Catalyst. So that thing, let's just look here. Oblivion Catalyst requires us to have a ritual thing set up in order to do that. And we're gonna need 5,000 PE, I think that's potential energy, from this mod. So essentially we have to charge up our Necronomicon. The Necronomicon stores the power that you need, and then you right click the ritual with it and it drains the power from the book. So we need a way to charge up our Necronomicon. That's pretty much our next step right here. Now, the only way that I know of to charge the Necronomicon is by messing with the Shoggoths that we saw last episode in the Twilight Forest. You need to have a certain amount of Shoggoths together. I think it's like 6 of them have to be within a certain range of each other. And they construct a monolith to like worship a god. And on top of that monolith is like a statue or whatever that you can collect. The statue is what charges the book. I was going through the book here to try and explain it to you by showing you in the book how to do it. Maybe it's right here, obtaining knowledge. But I didn't quite see where, maybe it's potential energy, material, special powers, places of power. Yeah, actually, yeah, here we go. This is what we're looking for. This explains all of that on how to do it, right? So these are the statues that we need. Each statue can charge up the book at a certain rate. And then you can have like 2 different rows of them. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. First things first, we need to go and mess with those Shoggoths a little bit more, but we're not actually going to kill them. We need to seal up their dungeon, their little spawner area. We need to seal that up and just hang out there for a while until they construct their monolith thing. So really our next step is back to the Twilight Forest. Oh my goodness, it's like we have to go there every episode. All right, guys, so we are getting pretty close. I don't know if that one Shoggoth that we lured away is still around. It did leave some sludge, but it doesn't look like it's here anymore. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, we need to get over to where my S marker is. Yeah, you can see the trail of ooze that I left everywhere. So inside this dungeon should be what's called Shoggoth spawners that should continually, like, make more of them. But we want to make sure they don't come out. Yeah, we don't want these guys aggro on us. We don't want them leaving. We just want more to spawn in there. And I think as long as the player is nearby, more can spawn. Look at this guy. Get out of here. Okay, so there are Shoggoths down there. And they are spawning. But yeah, pretty much all we gotta do is just kind of hang out in this general area and just wait. Yeah, there has to be a certain amount of them spawned. They have to be within a certain range of each other. And then eventually you'll start hearing clinking sounds like they're constructing something. And then a monolith should appear. So I guess we're just gonna wait around for that. Alright guys, well I found a total of 3 of these Shoggoth layers. So this is the second one that I found. A third one I think I found up here by the snowy area. You can kind of find them in rivers or you can find them in swampy areas. So here's another one that I have not been to. And then our first one that we found was over here in the swamp. Yeah, right over here. And I like hung around this one for a while. Like I believe the Shoggoths have to be like fully grown, so I waited over 20 minutes for like all of them that have spawned to mature. And yeah, there was like 8 or 9 of them around and nothing was happening. So I did the same thing here. You can see they break blocks. I think they don't break the abyssal stone, but they do break like cobblestone and dirt and other such blocks. So I just periodically come down here and fill in the broken areas. I put water here to push them away from the stairs. I'm not actually sure if that's working too well or not. We can go into the map here. Let's follow me and zoom in. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them all kind of clustered together. And I just kind of like pillared up so I'm not listening to them so loudly. So really, what's supposed to happen is you have like 5 or 6 of them together, and after a while they just spawn a tower. Now I'm not sure if there's something about them spawning a tower inside the Shoggoth layers, because I remember I did this before, just hung out around one of these things, and eventually they spawned in their monoliths, but I'm not seeing one happen here. Now I did see in JEI there is the Shoggoth biomass, which is essentially a Shoggoth spawner. So you need a slime block and you surround it with corallium gems and you can make these. I don't know exactly how many Shoggoths these spawn, but what this means is we can do this in the overworld. We don't have to be in the Twilight Forest. So I think that's going to be our next step, is to set up like an arena over the void in our void dimension, in our overworld. That way if they get out or they break blocks or something, they just, you know, they go into the void. But I think that might be a better option here. So I think that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to head back out of here if I can find our way out. There it is, exit. Yeah, I'm going to head on out of here. We're going to go to the overworld, make some of this Shoggoth biomass, and place it into an arena and see if we can make it happen in the overworld. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I just constructed this out of obsidian. I don't know if they can or cannot break obsidian, but this is like one of the strongest materials we have, and we get it for free, so whatever, it's fine. I made 4 Shoggoth biomass. Again, I don't know how many Shoggoth spawn from these. And then this area is a 15 by 15. I could have made it a little bit smaller to ensure they're close enough, but I think we're just going to go ahead and try it this way. I did also put a lip around the inside of this, because if I remember correctly, Shoggoths act like spiders, and they can climb up. So I put this here to kind of like prevent them from climbing up and out, but yeah, again, we'll see how this all works. Anyway, we'll just place these down here. Off-centered, apparently. I don't think that really matters. But anyway, after a while, we should get Shoggoths to spawn. I don't think they need darkness to spawn, but they might. I mean, I guess we could get rid of these torches here. Oh, got one. Okay, so there's one lesser Shoggoth, and it looks like the biomass is still there. So hopefully we can get more. Okay, so that guy's shooting at me. Will he hit me from here? I don't know if it's gonna hit me. It's trying though. Very close. Maybe I'll go up like one more block. All right, so we got 2 Shoggoths spawning. Whoa, that guy. Yeah, those, if they aim it properly, look like they can hit me. Well, that's fine. I mean, as long as I'm here and I'm not like AFK, we should be okay. Yeah, that definitely goes up a little higher. Okay, so we got 3 of them. Looks like one's a baby. I don't know if that grows up or if they're just different size. I'm actually not entirely sure about this particular mod. But, yeah. I think we're just gonna hang out here and try and get like a bunch of these guys together and see if we can get one of the monoliths to appear here in the overworld. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of float here for a little while, just keep watching these guys, and we'll be back. Alright guys, well, it looks like 2 different monoliths were just constructed right now. I'm not sure what the difference was. I was hovering up above these guys, just looking down for a while. And then I decided that I was going to come down here and just make sure they weren't putting holes in our obsidian area. And it looks like they didn't put holes in there. Let's go and eat another carrot so our night vision remains. Yeah, so I've already, I think that's my 3rd carrot that I've eaten. So it's taken a little over 20 minutes or so for these guys to like calm down a bit. So that one's going to go into the void. We no longer have the little lip that's preventing them from escaping. Let's see, maybe if we can do a thing here so they don't escape. Okay. Yeah, so they do produce that ooze. And that ooze, if it becomes a full source or it becomes a full block, I think turns into dirt, or at least it used to. I'm not seeing any dirt in there. But anyway, another thing to note, when they build one of these monoliths, there's probably some more of the biomass right here. So each one of these adds like another spawner, just so you are aware. So we have the monolith stone, and then these are what we were looking for, these statues right here. So here's one, and then the other one was right there. Let's grab that too. Okay, so we have a total of 2 of these statues, which is very fortunate. So really the next thing is we gotta wait for these guys to build more. I'm gonna vein mine all of that stuff away, and then I'm gonna try and fix these walls as much as possible here. Cool, yep, and I'm just gonna see if we can get some more of the statues being generated, so we'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I've been farming these Shoggoths for a little while, trying to get their statues. They've been building their monoliths, and we have collected quite a few of them. Yeah, a lot of the monolith stone too. I'm not sure if we need this much monolith stone, but I do know we need it for other things later on. You can kind of see down here all the different Shoggoth biomass blocks that have appeared since we started, quite a few of them. But anyway, we're gonna let those guys do their thing down here, and we're just gonna come upstairs because we no longer need the Shoggoths, at least for now. We might want to farm a bunch of these statues later so the AbyssalCraft stuff goes that much faster, but for right now I think we're just gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna put the monolith stone, yeah, I'm gonna put that all into our dank knoll. Probably should have done that already, but let's just do it now, just so we're not taking up all of my inventory. Pretty close to 1,000 of those, not bad. Okay, so now that we have all of these different statues, we need these statues placed on the ground, and they will fire a beam of magic that goes into the Necronomicon. I can't remember the exact placement of these things, but what I do know is when you have these things placed, and they are doing stuff, they cause different effects to happen in your world. So I really don't want these in the base, but we're gonna put them in the base. Anyway, so we're gonna do like, I don't know, how about something like that? I don't know how far away they have to be, but as long as I'm holding the book and I'm standing within range of these things, they should start firing a beam at me, which will give me some PE here. I don't know if I have to be closer to them or how this works. I don't think they have to be on a pedestal for that to work either. It's been a little bit of time since I last did this, but last I remember, you just have to have these different statues. Oh, you know what? I think they can't be right next to each other. That might be the problem. There might have to be a block of space between them. Is that the problem? I'm still not getting any PE. Okay, I just shift right clicked. I don't know if that did anything, but you can see they all like fired a beam at me. So now we got 15, now we got 30. Yeah, I think it might have been that they were just too close to each other. Let's try doing something like this. I'll have to figure out the proper spacing for these things. Okay, something like that. So now if I hold the book, all of these should fire at me, I do believe. Maybe not all at the same time, but they all should send their magical stuff over here. Now, if I remember correctly, we were looking at this and we needed like 300. Let's take a look. Was it the transmutation gem? Yeah, so the transmutation gem requires 300 PE. So we are approaching that. Yeah, 210, that's not bad. Anyway, so once we get 300, we're going to stop here. The thing is, the next one, well, I guess we could charge up all the way, but the gateway key, the Oblivion Catalyst, that requires the full 5,000 PE. So we have to charge this book all the way up. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time for that to happen. Now, AbyssalCraft does have like a little statue thing or pedestal, I think. Energy pedestal. And Monolith Stone, is this the one we want? I don't... Overworld energy pedestal. Energy pedestal. I'm not sure which one we want to make. Either way, one of these things, you can place the book on top of it. The energy pedestal receives the charges, and you don't have to be standing here holding it, and it feeds it into the book that you place on top. Now, the Overworld one... What's the difference here? Okay, so this one holds more PE in it. This one is the cheaper one. So Monolith Stone, Shadow Gem, Corallium Pearl. I don't think we can waste another one of these just yet, because I pretty much wasted all of our Corallium Gems making the Shoggoth Biomass. So we'd have to farm up more of that. So I think we're just going to sit here and let this all happen to me while I'm just kind of AFK. Alright, so a lesser Shoggoth just spawned here, and I'm like taking some kind of tick damage, but it's not really doing a whole lot of damage to me. I got Corallium Plague, that's what happened. So that does, yeah, you get random effects like that for being around this area. I think those little balls that the Shoggoth fire, like, destroy blocks. I think that's what actually destroys blocks. Anyway, so you have to hold the book in your hand, and you can place statues on a second row behind as long as they're one block higher. So I added in 4 more statues that I had in my inventory here to keep charging this faster. Alright, I broke down. I went back to the Twilight Forest, and I collected some more of the Corallium Gems, and I made another one of those ores, and I smelted it. So now we have an extra one of these. One more of those I think is in the chest. So here's the energy pedestal. The other pearls right there. So the energy pedestal, like I said, we can just place it down over here and then place a book on it instead of us having to stand there. And that's kind of what I want to do. So we're just going to place that there. You can see these things are already pumping stuff into it because this has its own internal buffer. So we can take our Necronomicon, stick it on top of there, and then this feeds power into the book. So we look at the book's at 1740 or whatever. We place it there, the pedestal will put its power that these statues are giving it into it. Again, we will like rearrange this so everything's like the proper distance away, because that's not like a good circle or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I don't have to stand here holding the book anymore, and that's the important thing. So let's go and let this charge up, and then we will look at doing some of these rituals. And about 5 seconds after I ended that clip, lightning struck. You can see it like destroyed some blocks and put fire everywhere, and then some of the Shoggoth ooze. That would happen if I was holding that book. Okay, so our Necronomicon is full of power, 5,000 out of 5,000, and the pedestal here is charging up. It's probably approaching being full right now. But over here, I did make myself a pattern where you put a cobblestone in the center, 2 blocks away, or 2 blocks of space, another cobblestone, all 4 corners, or all 4 cardinal directions, I guess, and then diagonally in between, another piece of cobblestone. So we should be able to right-click this, I believe, shift right-click, and that turns that into our crafting for this mod. So going back to the quest book here, or not the quest book, well, I guess we can go into JEI. We need 4 blaze powder. Okay, so we have blaze powder. So it had to be on the corners. I don't know if like position matters with this. Going back, it says then we need 2 diamonds and then 2 ender pearls. So that's easy enough. So pearl, pearl, and then diamond, diamond. Cool. Man, I think it's best, and I think I did this before last time I used this mod in some kind of a playthrough, to place this just over the void. So like monsters that it spawns, a whole bunch of demon sheep got spawned. It keeps putting that Shoggoth ooze around and it like destroyed our blocks and things like that. I feel like just putting that over the void, so anything that happens like nowhere, is probably going to be the best bet for this. So we'll look at doing that at some time, or maybe putting it up in the sky or something like that. Anyway, so the last part of this, we need a Corallian Pearl. So I did actually have to go and get more of this stuff. So that wasn't kind of like me wasting time doing that by making the pedestal over here. We actually did have to get another one of those. Well, now that that's all done, I should be able to just right-click the center pedestal, or shift right-click probably. Shift right-click it with the Necronomicon. Yeah, there we go. So it's draining our PE out of there. We need 300 gone. And then it should make ourselves the transmutation gem once that's done. Cool. All right, so easy enough. So we'll grab this, and we needed that in order to make the Shard of Oblivion, which requires a bunch of shadow gems, unstable or stable, unstable ingots, or unstable ingots. Well, that was hard to see, and a bunch of dull crystals. Yeah, we need 4 of those, I think. And this, if I remember correctly, this has like 7 uses or something. So it's not like you use it once and then it's done. And then we still have to make the Oblivion Catalyst with all of that stuff. So I think we'll go ahead and wait on that next episode. Yeah, when we get to that, we should be able to make this gateway key and go to another dimension. That sounds like a good time. Yeah, we are reaching the end of today's episode, guys. Messing around with the Shoggoths, definitely one of those things, like I've done it before, but every time I do, it just feels like it's a little bit different for some reason. Yeah, we're just now barely scratching the surface of the AbyssalCraft mod. This mod is actually pretty cool as far as like magic mods go. I don't know if you really consider this a magic mod. I mean, I guess there's no technical stuff in it, so it'd be classified under that. But yeah, as far as those kind of mods go, I kind of like this one. It's got nice progression in it. It's not too difficult. Yeah, anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.